Recently, as we already know, DC came out having damage control because they're trying to act like, oh, well, we're okay, when they're really not okay. Well, to try to stay relevant, looks like they're trying to go for another audience over there on Webtoon, and DC just continues to plummet off that cliff. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have it better tomorrow. So, the comic book industry continues to collapse, as we already know. It's been collapsing for years, and DC themselves recently came out having damage control, trying to say that all the rumors about them, being in trouble, not doing well, trying to say that, oh, everything's fine. We're not in trouble at all. Everything's fine. When that's been far from the truth. Well, now DC is striking a partnership, it seems, with Webtoon to try to stay relevant and try to look for more of an audience. Now, of course, expanding to try to get more of an audience, that's natural, but this is out of desperation, because we've seen how terrible it's been for these companies, because they've been destroying themselves. I mean, they had to try to outreach to even Manga to try to get more of an audience that way, with the Kodansha Superman comic that they actually made. But I mean, what they've also done is, when you look at it, look at what they did recently, which of course, this was basically all about, oh, headlines, we'll get it in headlines, this is the way to get readers, right? So they did the whole, like, Tim Drake is now swinging both ways, right? Like, this is not going to gain any attention, because people don't want this, people don't care about this, they push their identity politics, and this is not going to attract readers. It doesn't, it always fails. And then, of course, trying to jump to the young adult graphic novels, which is what they've been doing. Well, they recently had I Am Not Starfire, which is basically more like I Am Trashfire, because that's what it is. And as of the recording this video, their trailers had 151,000 dislikes. I mean, this is a complete and total failure. Nothing more than a self-insert book, because that's basically what the writer did, was self-insert herself as the main character, and God, this book is a complete disaster. Everybody knew it was going to be, and this shows you the state of where DC is at. I mean, they even made sure to turn off the comments of this video, as well as only let certain people comment on their Twitter about this book. I mean, you'd imagine they would want to hear consumer feedback, because, you should. And instead, they're just like, no, we know this is going to be a disaster. Then they just shut it off. And then, of course, they tried to have damage control, trying to say that everything's fine, the publishing arm's going to be okay, they're not going to shutter it, everything's fine. You try to act like everything's okay. But, whenever companies do this, they're not okay. And now, of course, right here, DC, which originally they used to make fun of Webtoon. They were saying that if you were good enough, then you'd be working in the mainstream industry. And now here they are, having to strike a partnership with Webtoon, because they know they're in trouble, because they know Webtoon's actually taking over. That's kind of the funny thing. A new partnership between DC and Webtoon will see characters from the DC universe star in upcoming webcomic series. The DC Webtoon collaboration is intended to introduce standalone stories that don't require any previous readings. More details on local language translations will be provided at a later date. I'm so happy Webtoon is able to work with DC on bringing unique stories to our platform, said Webtoon US CEO Kin Kim. Webtoon is a great bridge to a huge worldwide audience of young comic fans, and DC is home to some of the greatest superhero stories on the planet. The potential to express famous IP through our platform, which is mobile native and focused on ease of access, is super exciting. Yeah, basically this is DC's walk of shame to say, they're replacing us. Oh no, what do? We gotta team up with them. Only way to stay relevant. That's basically what it is. Because if they were fine, they wouldn't have to do this. You see, expanding is fine. But the thing is that, considering that they have to go to Webtoon, they have to go to Manga, they have to go to young adult graphic novels, I mean, this shows you where they're at. This shows you the trouble that they are in. DC is excited to introduce our iconic characters to a new generation of fans worldwide, said DC General Manager Daniel Cherry III, we've been working closely with the Webtoon writers and artists to adapt our characters and stories to Webtoon's mobile format. Our shared goal is to create fun and compelling DC stories that all readers will enjoy. The partnership is yet another example of DC's ambition to meet fans wherever they are and continue sharing DC fandom. Now, as you can see here, they're going to be working with the Korean writers and the Korean artists is what they mean. So that's probably for the best considering what you have at DC. You got a bunch of talentless hacks that work over there, So, yeah, this is probably better that they're doing that instead. Oh. Now, keep in mind, you can read things on Webtoon for free. Now, here's the thing that's going to be an issue, though, is that, which this has been seen before, where people would post their Webtoon comics, their comics on Webtoon, right? And, it would be up there for free. But then they would try to be like, okay, so let's have like a Kickstarter or something to actually fund this book, right? The problem came in at why would people want to buy a book that they've already read for free? That's kind of the big issue here. And with DC, I don't really see them making much money out of this. And here's my reason. Because, well, if they put it up there for free for anybody to be able to, read, then why are they going to want to go back and actually want to buy it? That's kind of the thing when they could just go back there and read it for free. There's that. Also, there's not really, from what I know, a big crowd of fans for superhero comics on Webtoon. So, I don't know how that's going to play out either. So really, what this comes down to, in my opinion, at least from what I see out of this to me, because we know how much trouble DC is in, this is just a, hey, we're going to try to stay relevant, guys. We're still needed, right? That's what this is. Then you have the Warner Discovery merger. Now, this is important because while you have Jason Kellar, who was basically the guy they were saying they were really amping up, like, oh yeah, he's a comic fan. He's advocating for comics. Well, here's the problem. He's going to be out the door next year. He's going to be gone. Even though he's going to help with this merger, he's going to be gone. So, they're probably looking at this like, what importance are comics going to be when this guy's out? This is basically just going to be one of those, like, DC's going to try to gain numbers on Webtoon also to be like, look at how many people we got following us. It's great, right? You're not going to get the X out, right, Papa Warner? Right? They're going to be terrified. And they're probably going to look at this and they might just pull out the X. Because, look, there's one guy who's breaking 500,000 sales on King Spa #1. Todd McFarlane, Image over there, kicking ass. And, like, what does DC have to show for that? Like I said, the numbers that both DC and Marvel combined, they would love to be able to make what this book has made on pre-sales. They would love to. Same with Keanu Reeves and, his Boom comics that he made, too. Like that comic that he made where he got 600,000 sales. They would love to make those numbers. But, they're not. And this is basically embarrassing. It makes you wonder, Discovery Warner's going to look at this. They're going to be like, man, this is pretty shameful. Like one guy is beating all of DC. It's going to be pretty bad. And, oh man, it's just going to come back to bite them. Because, look at this. Like, for them to go to Webtoon, this is them crying for relevancy. This is them trying to say that, we're useful to you, Papa Warner. We're useful. And I'm going to wonder how this is going to go because, funny thing is, like I said, they used to make fun of Webtoon. They used to talk down about it, saying that if you were good enough, then you'd just be working in the mainstream, just making fun of it, mocking it. And now here they are going to it because they know webcomics is successful. They know manga is successful. So the only way to try to do it is try to, jump in there as well. And this is their way, in my opinion, of how they're just trying to stay relevant because they're desperate. They're at peak desperation here. Damage control than this. They're just trying to stay relevant so they don't lose their jobs. That's basically what it is, which they don't even have a clue what it is that makes webcomics so good as well as manga. They don't get it. So all this is just a desperate plea for relevancy. It's really all it is, to keep their jobs. But anyways, let me know what you think about this entire situation down below. Subscribe to the channel if you were new here, and make sure you were still subscribed because YouTube is unsubscribing people from all their favorite channels. So make sure you were still subscribed to all your favorite channels. Hit the video with a like, and also be sure to share the video on social media. Spread the word and get it out there. It's greatly appreciated. It really helps out the channel a lot. Also, be sure to follow me on both Discord and Minds. We have a wonderful community there. Not only that, but it will keep you up to date on when the newest videos will be released, as well as any other upcoming events in the near future. So be sure to follow me on both Discord and Minds. Links are in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.